learning how to deal with a client that is upset with you for a reason. And that's the reason why Brad agreed to talk to me. You know, he is a sales representative. You know, he depends on those interactions. Every interaction counts for his performance. And it's going to be happening the same thing for you guys from the clinic. Every single client is going to be important. So sometimes, and I'm going to let Brad explain a little bit, you know, how that can happen and his feel, and then we will do a little mock scenario. And I will be the bad guy, so you guys don't have to be involved and be the bad guys. Get ugly to him and you know, kind of the response that I have seen that happens in the clinic under two scenarios. Somebody, and I will pretend I'm a client that came at lunchtime, the door was closed, you know, and I needed some medicated dog food. And I knock in the door, and you know, there's nobody there, and I'm just going to come over upset about that issue. The other one is going to be after euthanasia, you know, after somebody has a client that, you know, he was put down for a reason, and obviously the clinic is going to charge that person for the services occurred, you know, because even when you actually lose the patient, you know, you have an invoice. So I'm going to pretend that he will give me the invoice of $700 and my dog is dead, and I have to deal with those two issues, you know. One of the things I would like, Brad, is to talk about the importance first of having soft skills throughout, even the role that you do. These ladies, you know, would want to be on the field, but sometimes life changes, and your field is one of those who can actually get into if dealing with clients is not the forte, if this is something you decide not to do. So the industry is another option, and you guys need to know that. Sometimes, you know, we want to do something and life throws you different scenarios, and then you have to change, relocate, whatnot, you know, spouses, all kind of things that happen. So you need to remember that the pharmaceutical companies are a resource that hires veterinarians. So he could be one that he might be advertising when you guys are ready and say, hey, I need somebody on such and such place, you know, trying to tap into that. So and it's actually very profitable as far as I know, right? As people make good money selling products for farmers and so on. And that's part of his role, is actually sell vaccines and antibiotics and dewormers to beef producers and dairy producers, in there, mainly dairy producers. So that's the plan. So if you don't mind just sharing your opinion about soft skills through...
And we have small animal reps, we call them just clinics, vet clinics, you know, small animal clinics and that kind of thing. So there's a wide array. And I'm not a veterinarian. I have an animal agriculture economics degree, but we have veterinarians that we hire, and then I call them for help in the technical issues that I have to deal with. So if you go with that type of thing, deal with it. So, but any time you're dealing with the public, and you're part of a business, you're going to want to run into irate people. I mean, you know, some people are nice and some people are just not. I mean, that's just the way it is. Some people are really nice until they get, you know,
hold their own thing.
Yeah, you know, and I'm the same way. I'm a nice guy until somebody really does me what I think is wrong, and then, you know, then I can get aggravated too, and you probably can do the same thing. So you have to kind of look at that when you're dealing with somebody in that situation. Put yourself in their shoes and see where they're coming from. And that's part of the process that we go through in conflict management, is before you get angry back, you need to find out where they're coming from. And you need to have, you know what empathy means? You know what sympathy means, I'm sure. But empathy means I put myself in your place and I feel what you feel. Therefore, I understand where you're coming from. And then I can better handle how to, you know, and your ultimate goal is to calm the situation down and to, one, keep that client, if that's possible. Sometimes it's not possible, but, you know, you're trying. Because when you're working for a veterinary clinic, or if you're working for any business, you know, it may not be your business. You may not own this business, but you got to treat it like it's your business, because you want that business to thrive and to make money. And if you make their customers mad, or if you don't help that customer get over something that they, that's made them angry, then they're going to lose a customer. If they lose enough customers, then we all get out of business. I mean, I'm the same way. If I make all my customers mad, Zoetis will not continue to hire me. They won't let me go. So it's important to remember that when you're in there, is treat that business like it's yours, and also treat the client like they were you. You just came in, you had this situation, figure out why, what made them mad, and be sincere. Attitude is huge. If you're flippant about it, if you say, well, why'd that make you mad? What's that going to do to their, it's just kind of like throwing gasoline on the fire. Or if you act like you don't care. If somebody says something to you and you turn around and walk away and leave it at that, now you're young, and if this is an adult, number one, you have to very much have respect for that person. Okay? And if you don't feel comfortable handling that conflict, then you go to the veterinarian or the owner, and say, please help me, give me a chance, let me go and get the owner, because this situation, I think, needs somebody, different than me, because, and so that's one way that you can handle conflict in your situation. Now, once you get a little older and you become more responsible in some of these roles, then the way to handle it is to first find out what made them mad. Okay? If they're angry and they're yelling and they're screaming, a lot of times what they say is emotional and not necessarily logical. It may not be what you think, made them mad. It may have been something really simple. And they've thought about it all the way over to the clinic, and they're mad now about 16 other things that, so what set this off? So ask them, and say, well, I'm sorry, what did we do? And be humble about it. Don't be cocky or, be humble about it and say, what did I do? Or what did we do, that made you mad? And let them, and then be quiet. Because the next part is to listen to them and let them tell you and get out of their system what is wrong. And then the way we do it, this is a little difficult for a young person particularly, but you can learn to do this, is then in a gentle way repeat back to them what they said to you. Okay? So you're mad because we didn't clean your dog up well enough before she left. What, we can do it again, but so we don't do this again, could you tell us what was wrong? And let them, and sometimes if they start getting it out of their system, they realize they're being ridiculous. That can happen. But if they're having a legitimate, maybe the dog went outside right before she got there and rolled in dog manure, and she really did stink, and this happens. I've been at veterinary clinics where the people showed up. They took the dog out of the cage, and the dog ran out the back door and disappeared. Took them 2 days to find it. Things happen. You have to be honest with the client and tell them, and find out what they're mad about, find out what happens, and then try to settle it that way. But people can read you too. If a lot of it is within you. If you are truly interested in solving their issue and making them happy again, they'll know that by your attitude. But if you're just doing this, just, well, what's wrong? What do we do? Can you see my attitude in that and read that? Well, they can see that in you too. And so you have to be very sincere and very grown up and address and ask them what it is. And the other thing that we do that is natural is we become defensive, especially if they're attacking you. Okay? So let's say you're the one that cleaned that dog up, and now she just told you that her dog was dirty when she took it home, and it stunk and blah, blah, blah. And now, since you're the one that did that job, you become defensive. And you start trying to protect yourself, your own ego, basically, rather than trying to find out, the truth and say, well, I thought I did a good job. What did I not do? And if you do that, take that attitude, it's real hard for somebody to yell at you when you're being humble. And so that is a huge tool with it. But anyway, that's about all I had that way.
But also remember, you're communicating with your clients even if you're not talking. If this upset client comes to you and start rolling your eyes like, oh, here you are again,
yes.
They're reading that.
Yes.
And sometimes your mannerisms, all this expression with your hands, or I don't care, doing my hair when you're talking, kind of things, you just ignite it even more, and they get pretty nasty. What I'm going to do is kind of like a little mock, and you're going to see how Brad will cool down a situation. Like I said before, I'm going to pretend I was coming at lunchtime. I just came this is the clinic right here, and you're going to be in between, you guys. I'm going to see how that energy starts tensing once I get upset. You're going to feel yourself also kind of upset. And Brad, trying to use these methods that we were just talking about. And I'm sure he does it just by instinct, after so many years of dealing with people at different times, in different situations. You start manipulating that client until they cool down a little bit, and then you try to help them. Basically, that's the bottom line. The bottom line, you try to help them too. Sometimes they get themselves into that situation and start blaming other people. It happens a lot, and that's one of the things I'm going to do. I'm going to pretend that I talked to one of his co-workers before and secure me that I was going to be here at lunchtime. Of course, it's not real. And they made all of these things just to justify their hurry or their time. And then he's going to have to handle that situation. So I'm going to pretend I'm just knocking the door and say, hey, I'm looking for this Purina bag. I called your coworker, and she told me that you guys are going to be open for lunchtime. And I've been waiting for you guys outside, 30 minutes. I stopped my meeting. I need that bag because, my dog is really sick, and you told me that I need to be taking care of that medicine and taking care of that diet, and it's not here. So I need that food. And this is incredible that you guys, with my emergency, you cannot provide me with the service I need. So I need you to help me. And I don't want to talk to you. I know you're going to tell me you were fine. I need to talk to your supervisor or somebody because I don't care. About money. I need my food.
I'm so sorry. So, do you know who you talked to?
I don't know who it was. It was a young lady that I talked about 10 in the morning. Joanne, I don't know her name, what time it was, And she said she was going to be here ready for noon. And I was waiting for you guys. Your sign said it's open at noon. Mm-hmm. And here I am, it's already 1, and there's nobody here, and I need that food.
I am so sorry that they told you that because we generally are closed during lunch, and I don't know how that happened, but I apologize. But I'll take care of you right now. Right? What it?
Well, it's that NSF, that Purina medicine that the doctor told me what it was.
I'll go get it right now. I apologize. I really am. I'm sorry.
But I don't know if this is the way you guys do business here or not. But I've been coming to other veterinarians. They always take care of me, and you're the first place that I came here, and it's not happening. So we need to do something about it.
It should not have happened, but we should have. I don't have an explanation for why you were told that, but I will get to the bottom of it. Is there anything I can do to make it feel better?
Well, I just need to get on my business, and
okay.
I'll
let me get it to you right now. Be right back.
He's at the front desk, I'm in behind, like he's at the door for here, right? Yeah. And it's not that much time, the other part, He's keeping, I don't know if you guys notice, he's keeping contact with me, eye contact. So he's engaging with me, he's not avoiding me. And that's super important. People know that you're trying to do something about it, no matter how hot you come in the door. And like Brad was saying, it could be a build-up effect. If the lady is waiting, and today this society doesn't wait too much. You wait 10 minutes, it's like your whole life. You could have done 20 days. Right. So very important. He responded to it, disengaging with me right away. He's not arguing about what happened. He's not saying, the sign didn't say that. He's He's not denying what I'm throwing at him. He's just trying to cool me down super quick. And it happens in seconds. So you have to be ready. From working in the back, something you just walk in and it's the client that is there and you just run into it. And you just have to cool yourself down, like he was saying, or walk away if it's too much. And you're absolutely right. Sometimes you get defensive with everybody else in the front. Say, hey, I need it. It was his fault. And sometimes it's not true what they throw you just because they're upset. They can throw names of other clinics. They can throw name of other products. They can call you. I never seen anybody being mean. They're just dealing with the momentum.
Right.
But it's so critical.
A lot of things set people off that may not set you off or may not set another person off, but they all. And it may not even have anything to do with your practice. It may have been the fact that they had a flat tire that morning. And so now everything of the day is messed up. And guess what? You're the first person they can take it out on. So by being happy and smiling is a big deal. Yeah. And you don't want to grin like a big big toothy kind of grin, because then they think you're not taking them serious. But you want to have a pleasant look on your face. It's smile. And, I actually made a guy mad one time by smiling too big. he thought I wasn't taking him serious. Yeah.
Well, thank you. Brad. That's basically the exercise. And like I said, very important you remember this. Emery, what do you take home message when you're dealing with somebody that is coming?
You have to stay calm and make sure that you actually listen to them. And you don't try and argue your point. You just have to explain what happened honestly.
Taylor?
Be courteous and listen to their problems and be there for them.
Savannah?
Stay calm and listen to them and help them solve it.
Sometimes listen. Like he was doing, he was just nodding to me. It's not like I don't care. You just let him, just get it out. Cassie, what do you take home message for the little experiment?
Try to fix what went wrong, even if it wasn't your fault.
That's very, very important. Try to fix it, because that client is with that particular person, regardless if he was or not the one who talked supposedly with me. Right? That doesn't matter. If there is a girl or not at all, saying that, we don't have a lady working here, it's not important. That's beyond discussion. You just, how can I fix it? He was saying several times. And he said at least 3 times, how can I fix it? Right? Let me know what can I do to fix the situation. And sometimes by the time that you do that, you cool them down, because they're like, maybe I'm just exaggerating. Maybe I'm just out of whack. So keep that in mind when you're out there. It's going to happen sooner or later. We all deal with that at some point. You feel like you'll just fight with a big bull, but you have to learn how to do it. So, Brad, thank you very much.
Thank you.